How to strike a balance between development and national interests and environmental protection is a difficult question that many countries are trying to answer. In recent years, the Vietnamese government has stepped up its environmental protection efforts. Last year, Formosa Plastics' Formosa Ha Tinh steel plant caused a marine life disaster after illegally discharging toxic waste into the ocean. The Vietnamese government subsequently announced that it would reject any investment that will harm the country's environment. This year, it also began examining factories.
A complicated process is used to filter out iron that has undergone pickling. 80% of the remaining water can be recycled and reused. Pochen Group Vietnam chairperson Hoang Phulang previously established a factory for his company in China. He foresaw that Vietnam, like China, would begin to value environmental protection and therefore drew up a sustainability plan for his company's Vietnam factory, which opened in April.
当然，我们要符合当地法规跟世界的比较严的法规，要预估后面10年或是甚至于20年的法规要符合它，不要说现在就是可以就好了。
China Steel Corporation's subsidiary China Ecotech established a presence in Vietnam 6 years ago. It treats the wastewater produced by China Steel Sumikin Vietnam, a steel sheet manufacturing factory, using bacterial purification technology imported from Taiwan. The resulting water meets irrigation standards and is also used to fill fish ponds. The factory even won a local prize. Last year, Formosa Plastics' Formosa Ha Tinh steel plant caused a marine life disaster after illegally discharging toxic waste into the ocean. It subsequently hired China Ecotech to handle its wastewater treatment. Many other Taiwanese companies with factories in Vietnam have also inquired about China Ecotech's services.
目前，他在越南平阳省就在协助远东纺织公司的建厂，还有在头顿省东河钢铁有一个新厂，他们也在协助建厂。所以，他现在把台湾的工程整合的能力，就拓展到东协，尤其现在锁定在越南。
A 2015 study conducted by Vietnam National University showed 2/3 of the country's foreign investors illegally discharge wastewater. Last year, Formosa Ha Tinh Steel was fined $500 million for causing a marine disaster. Vietnam has stepped up its environmental protection efforts, which means Taiwanese business persons in Vietnam need to keep up with regulations. This is also an opportunity for Taiwan's environmental technologies.
Many Taiwanese business people doing business in Vietnam are also trying to adjust themselves. 3 years ago, there were many anti-Chinese riots in Vietnam, and the center of the riot was Binh Duong province, which was Vietnam's largest Taiwanese business population. 3 years later, victims remain in the country, and some have even expanded their plants and increased their investment. Apart from lower cost in Vietnam, business people say they have adjusted how they do business in the country and have a closer relations after the incident.
Jingzhou Marine Technology is the world's third largest manufacturer of fishing nets. It recently opened a new plant in Vietnam. 3 years ago, anti-Chinese riots broke out in Vietnam and protesters broke into Jingzhou's complex and broke all the windows in the factory and dormitories.
台中它是有一点那个分不清楚是台湾跟中国的那个公司的不同，所以我们台湾老实讲是受波及了。
The Vietnamese government agreed to allow Taiwan-owned businesses to display the ROC flag, and many expanded their operations in Vietnam. Apart from creating jobs, the Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce encouraged businesses to set up scholarship funds for employees. 20 Chinese majors at a university in Binh Duong province receive up to 5 million dongs per month, which is more than the average worker makes in a month.
根据他们的要求，我们就设计我们的培训的计划。 保证我们的学生一毕业之后马上可以在台湾公司工作，台湾的公司也给我们提供的奖学金。
你是哪国人？我是越南人。
One student from National Taidong University got a grant from the Ministry of Education and arrived at Thu Dao Mat University this summer to teach different levels of Chinese language classes as a volunteer. This not only supports the Tsai administration's new Southbound Policy, but also helps with job needs in Vietnam.
我想当老师。为什么想当？我想教那个小孩子。
In Vietnam, Chinese is considered an international language. The two universities are working with Taiwanese companies to set up a Chinese language center in Binh Duong province. Taiwan's Ministry of Education began sending Chinese teachers to Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam 10 years ago, and 20 universities applied for teachers from Taiwan this year.
越的话，经济条件不像南越这么好。我的很多学生是农村来的，所以他们其实很希望就是可以透过学习中文，然后可以跟中国有贸易的交流，跟台湾也是。
Chinese teachers in Vietnam have long felt education can facilitate mutual cultural understanding and improve bilateral relations in Vietnam. This also allows Vietnam to see Taiwan's role as not only an investor, but also a service and assistance provider.
In recent years, companies investing in Vietnam are growing in number, which has made the personnel shortage problem even worse. Vietnam is a communist country and raises wages every year. Over the past 20 years, the wage has increased from 300,000 Vietnamese dongs to 3.73 million dongs. Although this is still only half the wage level of China, traditional manufacturing companies are suffering and complaining.
Quality Control Manager Gallon and others are ready to start the workday at 7:30 a.m. The 36-year-old manager is the youngest Taiwanese worker at this Taiwan-owned garment factory in Vietnam.
像别的公司可能是用旧的厂房去租的，可是我们公司是愿意直接买地盖房，那给年轻人来。他不是说让年轻人来当最基本的储备干部而已，他是非常有机会当高阶干部，那可以去执行所想做的事情。
Gallon was willing to move to Vietnam due to the opportunity, but he rarely leaves the complex because the dormitories and cafeteria are all located on site. He works 6 days a week, and it could be said his work is his life. At the very least, he has his own room and someone to cook his meals for him, and he saves on transportation costs. Not everyone can accept these working conditions.
因为现在传统产业的管理上来说，渐渐已经有断层的迹象产生。我们为什么鼓励年轻人？因为在我们这个行业来说，差不多基础训练需要3到5年。
他在一个传承的阶段，所以年轻人他是很有机会到的。可是问题就是愿意走不走，能不能走出去。
Texray was founded in 1978, and its overseas plants are environmentally friendly. It produces intelligent garments. 3 of the 12 senior management staff at the plant are from Taiwan, while the other 9 are from China. The plant hopes to attract more young Taiwanese staff. However, there are challenges. There are 4 minimum wage levels in Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh City is in the first zone with a minimum wage of 3.75 million dong, which is around 5,400 NT dollars. Zone 2 has a minimum wage of 3.32 million dong, or 4,800 NT dollars. It is 1.5 hours away from Ho Chi Minh City. There are many foreign plants in Zone 2 and turnover is high. It is hard for Texray to recruit workers.
我们接下来的计划就是要在离我们工厂差不多2到3个小时的车程，我们会找寻一些比较落后的地方，我们会跟他们做一些慈善活动，我们也会将南委的一些精神生根在那个地方。
Mei Ling is the first Vietnamese manager at the Long An plant. She speaks Chinese and is helping Taiwanese businesses to localize.
就是我们也可以就是提醒我们提高我们的那个学习知识，还有我们在生活上也可以在工作上也可以再提高。
Texray offers production line training and weekly Chinese classes. However, rising wages in Vietnam is an issue. The hike will be 6.5% next year. Some companies say they are already thinking about moving their plants to Zone 3 or Zone 4 to cut down on cost, but the quality of workers in Vietnam is low, and this will be a major challenge.